It's that time again, because it's always that time. We live in a perpetual state of ongoing, never-ending, cyclical hype. Spoilers, set releases, spoilers, big announcements, set releases, spoilers, bad announcements, set releases, spoilers, death of a loved one. It's exhausting. But that said, this set deserves a lot of hype. So many exciting new toys for eternal formats, returning fan-favourite guilds and characters, and a really fun limited environment. Today, I shall be taking you through my first draft of the format in a familiar, fast-paced and eccentric way that you have come to expect from me. We've got memes, we've got drafting, and we've got punts. Before we begin though, a small amount of housekeeping. First, a public service announcement. If you haven't already, enter the code PLAYALLEGIANCE to get yourself 3 packs on MTG Arena. You can thank me later in the comment section. Secondly, a big shout out to those that make this channel a success and an ongoing viable commitment for me. First up, we have our major sponsor, channelfireball.com. It's still surreal to say that I'm associated with one of the premier names in Magic, and I generally don't know if this will ever get old, but hi guys, I'm sponsored by Channel Fireball. Channelfireball.com provides you with the articles, videos and features from some of the biggest names in MTG, whilst also providing a one-stop shop for all your Magic single needs. And that's a shop where they sell single Magic cards, not magicians who are single looking for happy, sexy time. In addition to this, I wouldn't be doing this in the way that I am doing it now without the love and support of my patrons. On screen now are my splicers, the largest contributors to the channel and my well-being through Patreon. But I have to extend a huge thank you to this community over on my Discord as a whole. It has really grown into its own little community with people playing games together, becoming friends, providing a sweet place to hang out and chat shit and moan about how fucked modern is. If you want the privilege of being able to call Mono Hell a cunt for banter, then you too can join the Discord for just $2 a month to support me in making content and get involved with our little community. That's cheaper than a cup of coffee, so come on over to Patreon and help support your favourite bearded British boy make Magic the Gathering content where I talk about penises. With all of that out of the way, buckle up, it's time to draft. In our first pack, there are several removal spells and an unusually high amount of blue cards. However, the rare is a fireball that allows you to deploy a threat whilst also killing one of theirs, or just kill them. I take it, fearing that I will not be able to wheel anything useful out of this pack afterwards if I don't end up in blue. In our second pack, for me, it's between Mr. Peter Manda from IT and this Wayfinder, which allows you to smooth out your draws. I end up taking Peter. I don't think we'll be able to abuse the adapt to make it very, very cheap, but I think in a long game, a 1/1 flying man that becomes a 5/5 flyer is just a good rate. Biogenic Upgrade is an absurd Magic card in the right deck, but there's also more red removal in this pack. I decided that Biogenic Upgrade wins more games of Limited than Skewer probably does, and take that instead. I'm currently not married to any of my first picks, and I'll happily pivot into a deck that makes more sense. Or I could play 3-color nonsense, either way really. I'm torn here between Gateway Sneak and Skewer, and I end up taking the Skewer, and I actually think this might have been incorrect. Scroll Thief with Upside is fucking absurd and limited, and I regret this with hindsight. I didn't even realise that Scrabbling Claws has a reprint, and I don't like this art compared to the old Pouring Hand thing. I take a 4/4 with Riot for 5, a little unexciting, but perfectly fine curve filler. It also has Horn in its name, so it's pretty easy to make jokes about giving our opponent the horn later in the video. That's just smart content creation, kids. This pack is fucking tough. We have one Froggy Boy, a fight card, and a huge unit who also allows me to say things like GG get wrecking beasted. I end up taking the fight as removal is good, or so I've heard in the occasional, draft video over on channelfireball.com, your source for Magic the Gathering news and articles. Uninspiring pack. The Plummet with Upside is good against the Orzhov deck, but if I want to cast my spells, I want some fixing, so I take the Gate. I take another red card because I'm insane. That's probably not correct here. Back to pack 1, and we have this more than okay curve filler of Sage Rose Savant. It's like Omen Speaker, but more aggressive. Like, if Omen Speaker took a lot of steroids and now wants to start a fight with any 3/2 creature it can find down the gym.
Now you're fucking God!
Fish Crab? Yeah, go on then. More fixing in the form of a Gate? Sure. Then we pick up a Reach creature, which I think is actually better than it would be in other formats thanks to all the 1/1s running around. A second from last, big old fucking Froggy Boy. And last pick, Lady, showing us how big her nut is. I mean, look at that nut! That is a massive nut! We opened some 5-mana rare, not in our colours. A lot of really dull cards for us in this pack. I think it's between the Duelist as a combat trick and Flying Blocker, or Ramp. And we have Fireball and a Biogenic Upgrade to get to in our deck already, so we take the Mana Dork. I rate this ram quite highly if you have 3 or more gates, so I take the fixing and the open gates first because I'm bad at drafting. We get past Ikaya's Wrath pick 3, which is a real shame. At a real table not controlled by bots, I would assume that black-white might be open, but it's probably too late for us to pivot into. It's also a shame because I need this card for construction in the future, no doubt, as well, but I just end up taking the guild gate so we can actually cast this plethora of 3-colour spells that I'm drafting.
The rhythm of the
Wild.
Hello, Wild, come on. This card is going to be absurdly good at standard, mark my words. I take it anyway, as it allows us to haste out some of our big old threats. More fixing? Yeah, go on then. Oh look, it's that ball sack crusher, smashing pillars with his 3-pronged dildo. I think some very well respected, handsome, smart YouTuber got to spoil that card and said it'd be pretty good in a rug deck in limited. It's a Gruul card that plays well with Simic cards, and we appear to be playing blue, red and green. My exclusive spoiler for this set is the Bolrak Clan Crusher. And yes, it does look almost phallic in nature. It might end up just being actually a splashable Simic card for their archetype instead. It's like fate. We take it, adding another 5-drop to our already top-heavy curve. We have a combat trick, a fight, and a locket in this pack. I decide that casting our bigger spells is how we win games, and take the locket. This could have been wrong. I'm interested to hear what people think in the comment section below. On that topic, I had a comment on my last Cube video of someone asking if someone could teach me how to draft. That's a draft that I went 3-0 in as well. It's always funny that people in the comment section of the chat think they are absolutely fucking perfect, and don't realise that most of us are just shit and we're all in the same fucking boat. We could pick up quite a late Scuttlegator. Growth Spiral could be an option, but it might be tough to cast in the early game where it has the most impact in our 3-colour pile of shite. We take a 3/3 for 3 that can swing through Orzhov tokens, probably won't be playing that main board. We pick up a late Ram and then not 1 but 2 Nut Ladies. I mean, look at those nuts. We get a sideboard card against the aggressive Rakdos decks, and then 2 bits of shit that we aren't going to play. Pack 3! Oof, Seraph of the fucking scales. It seems so very, very good, but could be further from our deck. Passing a bomby mythic always feels bad, especially when we thought black-white was open from getting that Wrath earlier, so we could have been in quite the sweet Orzhov deck if we'd made a massive shift over to it. This pack has a Beast Master, Frenzied Cat Lad, and a Fight, so it isn't easy. I end up taking the Cat. We get past a Nikya of the Old Ways, a 5-mana 5/5 that stops us casting non-creature spells, but allows us to double our mana out of our lands. This is great for allowing us to adapt multiple creatures after dropping her, and shitting out a metric fuckton of creatures from our hand. Easy pick, easy life. We find another Beastmaster, which we certainly want in order to have explosively aggressive draws where we attack with huge tramplers, but I blank on it again and take a second Frenzied Arynx. Fucking hell, I am bad at this game. We pick up an Aeromonculus, which is pretty good this late. Seraphon Hybrid is a good pickup. It's a bear that later on becomes a 6/6. That's some real value. Would love to take this Wizard Lizard's counterspell here, but we would be greedy with this mana base. I take another Skewer instead. Curve Filler 3/3 is unexciting. I take a moment to ask myself, how many Frog Lizards is too many Frog Lizards? And arrive at the answer, you can never have too many froggy boys. So we take a second one. Disclaimer, you certainly can have too many 5-drops, and this joke should not be taken as serious play advice. We take a Boar we probably won't play over a fight, mainly because we're going to be minimising the number of non-creature spells on our list to maximise the use of Nikya in the longer games. This was probably wrong because the fights are probably better than Skewers, as our creatures should be quite big, and Skewer can't kill most of the big creatures, and that is bad when you're trading 1 removal spell for a creature that's leaving behind 1/1 flyers afterwards. We take a Scorch Mark here as a late bit of removal, which is quite good against the Orzhov creatures, and a super late Beastmaster, so we were not punished for taking the second cat earlier. 1 more Guild Gate, and then we take the Burning Tree Punk Rocker over another gate. We need to be careful not to put ourselves a turn behind on every turn by playing too many tapped mana sources. My finalised list looks like this. I will put a link in the description below if you'd have a closer look, if you want to see what my draft deck looked like. I ended up cutting one of the skewers that we took because I'm not convinced of how good it is in limited formats, as I said, against big green creatures, big red creatures, and white-black creatures that leave behind 1/1s. I kept Scorch Mark instead in order to exile annoying Afterlife cards. This could be wrong, and it could be that Nikya is pushing me in a direction where I build my deck wrong, perhaps. Maybe it's a bit of a trap. Only time will tell, and time is a relative concept. I think. I don't actually know what that means. I just hear people say it all the times. Yeah.
Round 1.
Hello, Muck Buckets! We take the play and we have a slow hand of lands and spells. Whilst it's unexciting, I don't know if we can mulligan for early interaction or turn 1 plays in this format. It's a new draft experience after all, so I'm not sure how fast or slow it actually is. We play a gate, they play a gate, we draw and cast everyone's favourite Simic bear. I kind of wish this quick shot also had bear as a nod to history of the game. I also like how candid this art looks, like he's just been spotted by like a paparazzi or something as he's strolling to work. It's similar to the famous image of Sasquatch that I always think of when people talk about Bigfoot. The question is, do you believe in the Sourform hybrid theory? Have you seen one on Ravnica? They play a gate, everyone plays a gate, we slap them for 2 damage and play a mana dork that ramps for 2 mana. They play a Vigilant Trampling 4/4 for 3 mana because they have 2 gates. I think this ram is really solid and limited. We play Nikia, ready to be able to adapt our creatures easily in the future due to a surplus of pure mana. We also play out Peter Pickled, a pickled salamander here too, because we have the spare mana. They spend the turn playing a Locket, which is great news for us. They also slime bind our poor Nikia to make her ineffective as an attacker, but a perfectly fine blocker. We attack with a hybrid and salamander, no blocks, so we adapt the hybrid and slap them for a total of 7 damage. Boom, bang. We then play 1 Froggy Lad, take 4 counts of the hybrid, which adds 8 counts to the frog, making it 11 a trampler. Oh boy.
That's a huge bitch!
They cast Growth Spiral and follow up with a concession. They had very little in the way of a way to deal with such a massive chungus. We have a hand of nothing but mana on the draw and ship it back. Our next hand is just as slow as game 1's, but I don't particularly want to go down to 5. They also mold to 6 and lead with a gate. We lead with a gate. Gates. They play a craftily sniveling goblin that can go unblocked for the investment of a mana. It also has haste. Wallop. We do nothing and pass back. They play a ram and slap us again for the 2nd turn in a row. We spend a turn playing an enchantment. The rhythm of them. Wild. We are on the back foot. They play a 3rd gate and slap us for 6. Yeesh, that's gonna hurt. We play a Frenzied Cat Beast and decide to put counters on it off the 2 separate instances of Riot, one off the card itself and one off the enchantment. Yes, they stack. Yes, it's awesome. They get in and I happily trade off my Arynx for their ram before it becomes a 6/6 next turn when they play another gate. I double counter up my Beastmaster as an opportunity to make a decent attack next turn. They pay 1 to attack with an unblocked Dodger. We go to fight it with our Titanic Brawl from hand. They slime bind our Beastmaster, meaning the fight doesn't kill it. We traded 1 for 1 and lost the front end of our creature. We get ticked down to 10. We draw an Amulet and a 1 mana Defender. Fun fact, this unblockable clause is only for non-defenders on this Dodger. We play a Caretaker and riot it to make it a 1/4. We then pass the turn. They play a 3/3 for 2 mana, that's a pretty good rate. We untap and slam our freshly drawn Scuttlegator, a Crab Turtle Crocodile. Yes, Simic are really fucking cool. I riot it for a counter and then plan to take all the counters off it and onto the Lizard next turn for a big haste swing. They play the rather impressive Skatewing Spy and turn their Gobber into a Flying Menace. We take 3 to the face and we are staring down a potential lethal attack next turn. This is probably the best blue common in the set. Abzan Valkyrie might have gotten more expensive to balance out his own ability, but geez, it's still so fucking good. We are lucky enough to draw a flyer right on time. We deploy the Aeromonculus and attack with a 7/7. They chump it with a shitty 1 mana goblin that has outlived his use now. They untap, play a Sage, then attack with both the Skatewing Spy and the Gobbo. I brought the Gobbo with my 3/4 Aeromonculus that has a counter on it from the right mechanic from the enchantment, which should kill it and then leave us with a blocker for the next turn so we can race. And then some big swings. They cast Applied Biomancy, which is a card I feel will be the subject of many a blowout story around this limited environment. Sadly, I have yet to get anyone with it. They bounce my biggest attacker and pump their goblin, and we lose our flying blocker and go to 5. Shit. We draw another 5 mana card that can't help us when we're behind against flyers, so we're just fucked. On to game 3. We have a turn 1 threat we can't play on turn 1, a removal spell and a big old boy. Importantly, we also have all 3 cards of our mana, so I decide to keep. I lead with the forest, they lead, surprise surprise, with a gate. We draw a bear that isn't a bear and play it. We are on the board. They play a Wayfarer, which feels really good early on in this format. On curve, it sorts your draws and then offers the trade, potentially even up, with a couple of the 2 toughness 3 mana creatures in the format. A great card to stall out into your laser threats in the blue-green deck, but probably a little bit worse than the red-green deck if it's as aggressive as it seems, but still fine. They place an island on top of their deck, we draw another 6-drop and decide not to attack. Our bear has just too much upside later in the game to lose it. We get slapped for 2. They play another solid curve filler that trades well with our more valuable bear right now. They also scry 2 to the top, which does not fill me with confidence. I make a land drop and cast Aeromonculus as it blocks all these 2/1s very well. They play Rhythm of the Wilds. Whoa! Yeah! It's the rhythm of the wilds.
The rhythm of the
wild.
We scry 2 off of a fresh sage that we've drawn and leave a land and Electro Dominance on top. Hopefully this cast with X's3 will allow us to fire off the skewer and nail a few threats to the wall. We do not attack and wait patiently to see what horrible 4-drop they haste out. Instead they play the mill wall and mill our scry to the yard. All our hard work scrying and thinking our lines through wasted. Thrown to the wind. Sadness is placed upon the stack and it resolves. I shed one solitary tear for the Electro Dominance that could have been. Good night, sweet Fireball.
Why are you crying?
They play Open the Gates, we draw and play a lady with a big nut. Oh, and we finally play Peter. With Rhythm in play, I decided that attacking might go badly, so we wait to hopefully start adapting and growing our team and smashing face. They play a land, a locket, and a Tin Street Dodger. We finally hit 6 mana thanks to Nut Lady and now have a lot of choices to make. I don't do a whole lot and pass back. They play a second Rhythm.
The rhythm of the
Whoa!
Wild.
They make Tin Street unblockable except for walls and swing. We block with our wall to call their bluff and they cast Gift of Strength. Before Nut Lady dies in combat, we use the mana to transform our hybrid into one chunky unit of a lad.
That's a huge bitch.
We don't draw 6 land, which makes trading our shit mana dork for their combat trick a bad decision in hindsight. However, we did draw our sideboard second copy of Skewer. I attack with our chunky bear and Peter, and they chump the 6/6, and we use our Skewer to kill off a little dude to reduce blockers, as it's got Spectacle, because Peter got in for 1. At the end of their turn, I adapt our Aeromonculus. We draw a Brawl and get our big lad to fight their wall. We skewer the other block dead and flunge. They go to 7, then untap, cast one big old Wrecking Beast. We attack again with everything, and after our big lad is blocked, we adapt Peter and we kill them. GG Salamander. And for the record, I know it's Pterodactyl and Salamander to make Terramander. I get that it's a portmanteau, but I can't help but look at that and hear the word Peter, like Peter Parker.
You got any more nuts?
I have some nuts I could make.
Hello? Is it me you're looking for? We mulligan an unkeepable 7 into a risky 6. We're on the draw and we have a scry and we have a 3 CMC mana rock and a 2 CMC removal spell. I keep it. We scry a 5 mana threat to the bottom. Come on lads, come to daddy. We draw 3rd land on turn 2 because we never didn't have it. They play a turn 3 Gateway Sneak, which this could easily run away with the game and draw them a ton of cards as we struggle to get onto the board. For this reason I opt to deploy my bear and play a tapped, freshly drawn Simic Guildgate in order to minimise the chance of the sneak netting them any cards. They Growth Spiral, play only 1 land for the turn, no gate, no second land, and pass back. We play a Locket and Sage Road Denizen. Feels like we are back in the game after a sketchy tense keep. We top a land, followed by a Ball Sack Crusher. They play a Wilderness Reclamation, which outside of the adapt deck, I have to question how good that really is in draft. I slam Nikia and I see if they have counter magic. No, they don't. I should have done this second main phase after attacking with my Adapt Bear. Bad sequencing, kids. The end of turn flash arrest my Nikia, which feels both good and bad. It means we can never block with her and throw her under the bus to unlock non-creature spells in our hands later in the game, but it also means we have double mana for the big old crocodile bastard soon, and they probably don't have actual real removal for her. They untap, play a big old horny boy, they then pass back, untapping again in their end step. We draw the Ballsack bad boy. I use my Mega Mana to play a Gator and a Ballsack Harasser and pass back. Again, playing these first main phase when I could have gone in with a 2/2 that could have then become a 6/6. I am bad at magic. They do fuck all and pass back. We draw 1 Nut Lady and we adapt before combat so we can swing with a 9/9 and they bounce it back to our hand. Boing. We play Nut Lady, they do nothing. We untap, play a Gator and they scoop it up. Fair enough. In game 2 we lead with Nut Lady, they lead Gate. They Growth Spiral turn 2 and only play 1 land for the turn, which feels pretty good for us. We don't do much until turn 4 where we play Beastmaster. It gets shot out of the stack with 2/3 of a fucking mana leak. They play a Zagana on turn 4. We continue to have awkward draws with no creatures below 5 CMC until we hit Peter. I decide to go for Electrical Dominance for 3 in their turn, but I've miscounted my mana. I burn an entire timeout trying to to figure out how to cancel and expel mid-payment. Turns out, as I googled it, you can press the Z key. I get that that's the undo in traditional Windows shortcuts, but fucking hell, does that feel slightly odd in a game where I simply do not touch letter keys at any point in the game? Add an on-screen cancel button for fuck's sake. Will that really hurt? We take 4. We attempt to dominance the Zagana for 3, which resolves, and then use the skewer out of our hand from the free cast from the dominance to kill Zagana. Ideally, I would prefer attacking for 1 and spectating both skewers, but our mana doesn't support this unless we draw another creature, which aside from this frog, we haven't. Electro Dominance resolves and they quench our fucking skewer. 2 quenches? Really? I don't know how I feel about Color Magic Unlimited in general, but it often feels terrible when you're behind on board, and I prefer cards that advance my own board state whilst interacting with my opponents. But who am I to comment? It fucking got me here, eh? Lol. Eventually we double spell and trade a creature to kill Zagana by skewing it, then fighting it with our 1/1. Our only blocker is bounced and we die. Lo and behold, our eclectic collection of 3 colour nonsense had a clunky as fuck draw. Who would have thought it?
Hello! What? No, I'm chilling out! Chilling out! Yeah, some sort of stress zone. Yeah, no, very relaxing actually, yeah.
3 lands, a locket, an uncastable fireball, and 2 6-drops. This hand is fucking garbage, but I keep it, possibly because I'm on tilt from how badly we drew last game. This is not how you win drafts, ladies and gentlemen. Please do not keep these hands. Don't let your friends keep these hands. Obviously, don't interrupt a Comp REL game, but afterwards mock them and ridicule them so they don't do it again. If you somehow see someone and see a hand like this, look them in the fucking eye and ask them, really? Really? It's better for the sake of the entire game and the community. Don't let people keep hands like this. They play an Orzhov Guildgate into Gateway Plaza. We still don't know what this land is for in terms of a splash. It just looks like a far greedier version of our mana base. We play a locket, they play a Simic bear, we open the gates for a plaza and play it, we then get slapped. I decide to Electrodom their bear, which puts our bear into play. This means we are then a land off the top next turn, means we can swing with a 6/6 whilst killing their only creature. This seems fine and better than just running out a bear or a 3/3 frog. They scorchmark our poor bear, the fucking bastards. They play an 8/8 gate Colossus, which might explain this off-color gate. We play a 6/6 and then get chunked for 8. Jesus Christ. We untap and go to add 3 counters, then double them with Biogenic Upgrade. It gets Frilled Mystic out of the deck, playing 2 off-color gates. This seems so greedy, but they're being rewarded for it. Am I just being salty, or do you think that's pretty bad beats and a little bit of a shame? Would you play Frilled Mystic with 2 completely off-color gates in your deck? Let me know in the comment section below if that is something you would do in a draft and whether you think it's correct. Oh, and then we die.
Round 3.
This time we're up against Yindi. Nice book, nerd. We take the play after winning the die roll and keep a risky 2-lander. Should I be getting so many 2-land hands with 17 lands? Is that just bad luck? Gate, forest, bear. God, I wish this was a human bear warrior. Fuck's sake, such a missed opportunity. Then they play a bear, but it's just a cat. It's not even a bear, it's a cat with 6 eyes. What the fuck? We decided to ramp over playing the ram. They attack for 2, we take it, and they play a Gravelhide Goblin. We miss a land drop, but we play the ram, and we play Peter Mander, the guy your girlfriend tells you not to worry about. They play a Burning Tree Vandal, we untap, miss another land drop, and get in for 1 damage in the air. 19 turn clock. Rampaging Red Horn from them, and into the red zone. I opt to block with my Vigilant Dude and take 5. We play a Scry Sage and find 2 more tapped lands on top. That will do, buddy. We get in for 1. They come crashing in again, we trade off the Sage with a 3/2, and brickwall the cat with our Ram. We take 5 and go to 8. They play Rhythm of the Wild. Our left is very low and I'm a scaredy cat, so I do not attack now that they have an active Rhythm of the Wild. They play an Arynx and a 2/1 Gobbo, then Flunge. We go to blocks, we trade our Ram for their cat and Peter for the Goblin. This allows us to untap and pump the hybrid to a 6/6 to brick with this 5/5. Then they cast Macabre Mockery on their turn on our dead Ram and make a 9/7 hasting trampling vigilant creature. Huh.
Hey, that's pretty good.
On to game 2. No lander into an all-lander, practically going to 5 scares me, so I keep and hope to just not draw any more lands. We scry gate to the bottom. Turn 1, open the gates for a plaza. We both stare each other down, making land drops until they play a 3-drop 3/3. We kill it with a skewer and play a Harbinger of the Nut. They play this spectacle enabling pinger. We kill it and sit with a land and a 6-drop that puts counters on shit in hand. We are flooded in there in a drought at the moment. At the moment they start hitting land drops, we are in for a world of pain as they have 7 fucking cards in hand. We draw a dork and play it, they kill it. Then we play a 4-drop threat. We draw Peter and we cast him. They attempt to Scorchio him, but we adapt in response. Got him. Well, almost. They then use a fight spell to fight him in response to that. I'm sorry, Peter. You never stood a fucking chance, mate. We dump a shitload of counters on our Nut Lady and turn her into a 6/9 wall. They play a Vandal, can't swing and pass back. We draw and play our mana doubler and then slam a frog, take the 6 counters from the wall and make a 15/15 trampler. They are in black, so we are hoping they don't have any of the straight up destroy target creature effects that Rakdos and Mono Black have in the format. They then swing for 6 across 2 bodies and I decide not to block to not risk a blowout from that target creature gains Death Touch spell. They play a cat and then use Savage Punch to trade a creature with our mana doubler. We attack for 15 with Frog Lad and then play a Crocodile to block with next turn. They reanimate our doubler, but we block the smaller creature and go to 4, and then they die. Death! In game 3 they have the Nuts, or more accurately, a lady holding a nut. We play a turn 2 Nutter as well, because everybody loves nuts. They play a 2/1, we play a Mana Dork and hope it doesn't die as our hand is stacked with big threats. They tap out for a This is the Wild. And we get to attack with 5 mana. We play a Scry Dude, a Locket, then kill their only threat at present time, which also puts them back a mana because of the Nut Lady, meaning we don't get hit by a hasty 5-drop next turn. They miss a land drop and play a Vandal. We kill the Vandal and slam a Beastmaster into play. Our Dork gets killed by a Scorchio. We untap, play a Hasty Cat, attack for 11, they take it all. They play a defensive 3/4, we attack with Beastmaster and a pumped Trampler, they block and kill the Beastmaster whilst we take them to 3. Second main phase, we play Nikya of the Old Ways, they play a 4/4 with Menace, we slam Crocodile and pass back, they play a 3/3 blocker, we empty our hand including a Ball Crusher and pass. Perhaps I played too conservatively here to allow them to gain defensive position. They end of turn kill our 2/1 with a Scorchio and they play a shit ton of blockers out and pass back. I make the Crocodile bigger.
Make my monster
And slam in, they chump it, making this 9/9 into a one-sided abyss. They do nothing, we shock them in end step. We untap, declare attackers, then shock them before blocks for maximum. You are fucking dead, son.
Round 4.
It's time to fight Jimmy Joe and his Teferi avatar, but next is evil. 3 spells, 4 lands, but at least we have all 3 colours. Jimmy has an aggressive draw, curving Fiend into Plague Rite. Our turn 3 brick wall gets bedecked to death, which feels fucking brutal, if I'm honest. We keep getting slapped about. We play a 3/2 blocker, which is frustrating because this is a 3 mana 3/2 and only trades, like kills itself to kill this 1 mana 1/1 or this 2 mana 2/1. It feels pretty backbreaking to commit a card and more mana to have it killed by things and that trade up so well when you're trying to stop the aggressive deck from killing you. We get to a point where they have 1 card in hand and we can cast a 5 mana 5/5 next turn, but we have to use our non-creature spells first, so we Scorchmark the Rakdos Rustabout that just played, and our fight still doesn't allow us to trade this 3-drop cleanly for either the 1-drop or the 2-drop, which is brutal. We fight the Pinger and get ready to throw this creature into our block next combat. We block the 2/1 and kill it. They cast an Ill-Gotten Inheritance, which is a real fucking clock considering they're on 19, soon to be 24 or 25 because of this. We need to hit them and we need to hit them fucking hard. We untap and cast Nikya, they play a land, we cast our entire hand thanks to Nikya. We attack, they block, and use a Death Trigger to kill our 1/1 Peter. Should have played its second main phase. Arena lulls me into bad habits, I feel. They untap and scoop through the incoming 14 damage. The deck seems super aggressive and pretty good, but we got there in the end with big, old, chunky boys and girls. We have boarded out some of the larger lands in favour of smaller creatures like this 2/2 cat for 2, but ultimately it's bad at trading too because the Rakdos 1-drop and 2-drops, they're so good. They're so fucking good. On the topic of 2-drops, here is a rare that is very, very hard to beat in Limited. case of the Forgotten Gods, if we can only play one creature a turn and they have Afterlife, we are in trouble. Also, when it says Forgotten Gods, are they referring to the Phyrexians? Are they referring to the Eldrazi, perhaps? Something that might have been on Ravnica years and years ago? Or is there another Forgotten God that I'm not aware of in the mythos? I want to know. I want to know. Where are my fucking answers, wizards? We play a Locket on turn 3, which feels pretty bad. We're hoping to be able to kill this priest before we deploy our 5 and 6 drops, as they will just die to the Edict effect. We play the Nut Taker on the following turn, as they probably won't waste an Edict activation on that, and it blocks some things, I guess. But again, not this fucking Plague Rite. They play a 3-1 that can get through by sacking shit. I play a 4-4 roadblock and they swing into it. I take the bait and I block, hoping they just don't have anything. But fair enough, they have Storm Strike, a card I didn't know even existed, and my Ball Crusher gets fucking wrecked by a 4-1 First Striker. They Spectacle cast a Drill Bit and steal away our next blocker, which is brutal. GG. We die to the Onslaught as we have another removal spell out of their deck, kill one of our blockers. In game 3, we have a turn 1 mana fixing, turn 2 creature, turn 4 4/4. This is as good as our clunky deck is gonna get. Turn 2, we get pinged, and Drill Bit takes our freshly drawn Nikia. Fucking hell, that Drill Bit is fucking irritating. We do nothing on turn 3, leave up mana, and they don't swing. They play the 3-1 Vampire and pass back to us. We slam a 4-4 brick wall and hope not to get run out by another fucking combat trick we don't see coming. They play another rare in Immolating Shaman, which is like Harsh Mentor, except it can become a considerable threat further down the line by sinking 5 mana into it. We pass back and they play Theatre of Horrors, which makes this feel like a game against a constructed aggro deck at this point. They seem to have every good Rakdos rare. We end step the Electro Dominance whilst they are tapped out to kill the Shaman so we don't die to this menace threat, and we put Rhythm of the Wild into play off the Electro Dominance.
This is the rhythm of my life. My life.
It's the rhythm of the wilds! Wilds! Come on! We adapt and get in for 6. It's time to become the beatdown, boys and girls. Any creature off the top is now enabled by Rhythm. We need to end this before this fucking Theatre of Horrors buries us in card advantage. They untap and immediately reveal Priest of the Forgotten Gods. Fuck my life. They make some gobos off the Gathering card and then ping us to enable Spectacle and cast the Priest. They opt not to swing into our 4-4, which is quite wise. We draw Beastmaster and cast her. We give her a counter with the first right from her own self and haste with the second right from the Rhythm, and we swing and give the Trample the bonus damage. They block in a very, very clever way. To ensure that with the death trigger from the Fiend, they kill off 2 of our 3 creatures so that the Edict is super effective next turn. This leaves them on 1 life. We need a decent haste threat or either of our skewers off the top to just kill them. Their Theatre finds a second Gatherings, which feels super rough in this spot. They play a 3-2, then sack it alongside the Pinger, but forget to ping because sequencing is hard. This enables Spectacle, they cast the second Gather and make 4 Goblins and pass back. We are hellbent with no creatures in play, and I feel like I'm losing to a standard deck. This is 5p territory. Also, I ate a chocolate coin that was reduced from the supermarket the other day. You know, bags of chocolate coins you get at Christmas. Look at this chocolate coin. It's made out of chocolate and it's a 5p. It's basically a dirty bumhole. You're welcome. I'm sure you want to know about that. What do we draw though? We draw a Guildgate. Yeah, that's depressing. We get attacked for 2 and then we draw. Gaia Engineer. We make it into a 2-2. They ping us off of Theatre in end step. They untap and skewer our 2-2 and swing for 2. And then we draw. Skewer.
Headshot.
Fucking got there. That deck was absurd. They probably deserved to win because that deck was better than us, but glad we managed to draw one of our 2 outs when we needed it. It's on to round 5 against Alternist Kim and their hot flaming hand. This might be our best hand yet, and it's still not very good. Maybe our deck is just bad. They Growth Spiral a land into play on turn 2. We use the Sage to scry a land and fight spell to the bottom of the library. Turn 3, 3-4 from them, we probably can't beat that. We play a Dork on turn 3, they open the gates for a Simic gate, and then they cast Shimmer of Possibility and put some card into their hand, and then we get slapped. We Electrodom their threat away and deploy a ram, getting in for 2 with the Sage. They play the 6/6 that we will struggle to deal with unless we can make a bigger creature. We open the gates for a Plaza, play a Locket and play the Plaza and pay for it with the Locket. Yeah, get there. They chill bring out our ram, but then we draw an Aeromonculus just on time. They tap down our Flying Mutant with a tappy spell, play a Reacher and attack. We take 3 in the air and adapt our Aeronaut anyway. We draw and use Barging Upgrade to turn our ram into a 9/9 and our Aeromonculus into a 6/7. Our ram gets in for 9. They adapt their Turtle Crocodile and swing for 3 in the air, and we go to 11. We swing with our Flyer and the ram. They make a suspect block, perhaps forgetting about Trample, and we kill them. 9/9 Vigilant Tramplers win games apparently, especially when your opponent blocks incorrectly. Game 2 isn't much of a game. We play a Nut Lady and a Bear into Rhythm and Ball Crusher, but flood beside this action. Playing the Rhythm on curve meant tapping out blockers, which means that we are low by the time we played the 5 mana under curve on turn 4. They then chill it with Chillbringer, meaning it never gets to take over the game like I thought it would. Chillbringer is really solid, and I just realized it's not an uncommon, so I think this and the Spy are probably the best blue commons. Game 3 is looking solid. We have a flying threat on turn 4, a game for 2, and then try double spell as much as possible, which leads to us getting clocked for 4 again on their turn 4. We untap and are about to have a mammoth turn where we slap them for 10 damage, but the reason they did nothing on their turn? Mystic fucking Snake. Oh, it's a Mystic Snake but with more power. Oh, brutality. This game just took a fucking turn. I attack for 2 with my Sage, which should have been on block duty because I know they have at least 1 Chillbringer in their fucking deck, so this fucks the race up. Turn 5 Chillbringer, like clockwork. Sadness. We block 2 points of damage and take 4 to 11. We adapt the Flyer and fight the Chillbringer whilst they're tapped out to avoid combat tricks and Field Mystics. They play a second Chillbringer. Fuck me! Our Flyer continues to be tapped down and I'm feeling pretty sad about this state of affairs. They attack, we block and kill off the Field Mystic. We play a Frog and turn it into a 5/5 by taking counters off the Aeromonculus. They play a Skatewing Spy, which will become a flying threat very shortly. We draw a land and feel sad about life. We are not long for this world. They adapt and we die horribly. We had a fine run, netting some boosters and a refund on entry for our 3/2 with this odd pile of rug cards. Our second loss was to a very good Simic deck, which was tighter, more refined, and had better blue commons than we opened. I cracked the packs and got almost complete horseshit, except for Vanathar. It's like Arena is asking me to play some more of her. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this first foray into Arena Limited in this sort of format of video and Ravnica Allegiance in general. Let me know what you think of my messy deck, the lines of play, and the video itself. Did you enjoy this attempt at making it more fun to watch Limited? I just love to hear feedback, so please let me know. Make sure you have subscribed, click that like button, and it helps me a lot. It helps me more than you'll ever know. And be sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch too, to get the latest news of what's happening with the channel, my dog, what I've ate for dinner, and how much I hate Piers Morgan. Until next time, I'll leave you with 8-Bit Napoleon to sign off.
You drafted an absolute pill. Why are you so bad? I wish you were dead, you British bastard.
Jesus, Napoleon, you no need to be such a fucking prick all the time.